So today's video is going to be a little bit different than my other videos. It's not going to be a tutorial, and it's not going to be like a walkthrough or talk through, or I don't really know what I call those things, but it's going to be like a bring it back to basics type of video, and one where we can, like, anyone can watch. So if you're a knitter, if you're a crocheter, I mean, if you know everything about yarn, then you probably don't need to watch it. But it's going to be the perfect video for someone who is starting, someone who is thinking about starting, someone who has started and just doesn't know that much about yarn. I'm going to be honest with you, when I just started out, I kind of just went to the store and just bought whatever yarn. Like, I didn't even read what the pattern was saying to buy. I didn't read the labels of the yarn. So now that I understand more about yarn, I kind of know what I'm buying. So I'm not just buying random things, coming home, figuring out that it doesn't work for the pattern, and then having to go back and buy again, which actually doesn't sound like that bad. Well played. But anyway, that's not the point. So let's get into it. So in this video, we're going to be talking about the standard yarn scale. We're going to talk about the label and how you can read it and just like some cool things about it. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the standard yarn scale. So yarn is measured by weight, and the weight is measured on a scale of 0 to 6. So 0 being the lightest of yarns and 6 being like the heaviest of yarn. So you can think of it, the thinner that a yarn is, the lighter that it is, so the smaller number that it'll have. And the thicker the yarn is, the heavier it is, and the higher number it'll have. So let's start with 0. So this is a 0 weight yarn. Yes, they have 0 weight yarn. And it honestly just looks like string. Like, that's how thin it is. And I'll have like a close-up of all the yarns that I'm showing. And you can have, I'll put their descriptions in the description bar below. Gosh, it's so weird. So anyway, so this is 0 weight yarn. This is often called, well, this is called crochet thread, but it's also called lace. So if you have a pattern that requires lace yarn, then you would go for 0. And you would definitely have to use a smaller hook with it and smaller needles with it, unless you're making something with like a lot of holes, and that's probably the only reason that I would expect you to use a larger hook or needle. But this is lace yarn, and this is weight 0. This is a 1 weight yarn, and you can see that it's way, like, to me, it seems a lot thicker than the 0 one. So already where you can see that there's a difference between 0 and 1. And 1 is often called superfine yarn. So this is yarn weight 1. I feel like Vanna White's, which is funny because I have Vanna White's yarn coming up next. This is weight 2. Right? I can never find it on this one. Oh my god. Yes, this is weight 2. And weight 1 was called superfine, and weight 2 is called fine. This is fine yarn. And yeah, Vanna White makes yarn. Sold at Michael's. I get it at Michael's. It's pretty nice yarn, actually. I was kind of like skeptical, but I don't know why she makes yarn. Does she knit? Crochet? I have no idea. If you know, let me know in the comments. But it's owned by Lion Brand, so I don't even, maybe she's just the face of it. But anyway, so this is fine yarn. And it's, you can tell it's thicker. I can't really tell a difference between 1 and 2, but I can definitely tell a difference from 0 and 2, even 0 and 1. So yeah, so this is, I know I'm using it, that's why there's a tail. Okay, on to the next. So this one doesn't have a label, and I'm sorry about that, but we'll get into the labels of each one. So this one, this is 3, and when I show you, I'm gonna have like a whole clip of all the yarns so that you can kind of see the difference, but to the naked eye you can't really see the difference, so I can't, at least. So I can tell this is like a middleweight yarn, but I can't tell that it's a 3 necessarily. So you'll be able to see that in the close-ups. But this, you can tell, is heavier even though there's less yarn here. And we'll get into that as well, that you'll also be able to know how much yarn is in the skein that you bought. So that was 3, and then this is 4. So 3 and 4, I think, have a huge, sorry, my dog like ate it. 3 and 4 have like a huge difference, I think. And this is called medium weight yarn. Oh, I'm sorry. 3 is called double knit yarn. Yeah. Or sometimes it'll have like DK. But that's what it means. So this is 4. It's upside down. And this is just a red heart. I love red heart yarn. It's cheap and it works so well. And 4, my tip to you is if you're just starting to crochet or knit, I would buy this specific type of yarn. It's inexpensive. It's perfect to practice with. It's worsted weight. It's medium weight. It's thick enough. The only thing is, don't buy this dark color. Buy a light color, because that way you'll be able to see your stitches, your needle, where it's going. Like darker colors usually are harder to work with. My hair is everywhere. So this is, once again, weight 4. So I'm sorry I don't have like a better example of weight 5 for you, but this is all I have. So weight 5 is called bulky yarn. You can tell this is, when you work with it, it's bulky. It's the ugliest color. It's actually called, it's for like a boa. I mean, that's exactly what it looks like, so it makes sense. But I do not suggest using this type of yarn when you're just starting out, because it is super hard to work with. Like, it is ridiculously hard to work with. So don't buy this right away. Don't buy this ever, because I don't know why. Just buy a bow. It's like 99 cents. Don't make a bow. No, but this was, I made, you guys know Breaking Bad. This isn't like a spoiler or anything, but if you watch the show Breaking Bad, I'm obsessed with it. So is my boyfriend, and he, for Valentine's Day last year, I made him, there's like a bear that's like a reoccurring image, and it's pink and it's fluffy, so I made him that bear. Just thought I would share. So anyway, that's why I bought this, and I bought too much, and now I have a whole skein of this left, and I'm never going to use it. So if anyone wants a Breaking Bad bear, I will make it for you just to use this up, because I hate it. That was actually also the hardest project. I fell. Oh my god. I almost fell. I know I don't have a label for this. I actually, like, I guess I was using it. I don't know. But it's a mess. And this is super bulky. And you can tell this is really bulky. It's really thick. So this is not something that you would start with either. You don't want to use really thick yarn or really thin yarn when you're starting out, because it's hard to control the needle or the hook. And you really, when you're starting, you just want to understand the stitches and practice. That's why I honestly suggest, it fell, but I suggest weight 4. Even weight 3, but weight 3 might still be too light. Weight 4 is perfect. I mean, there's a reason they call it medium. It's like the perfect medium. I also suggest the Red Heart. I'm not sponsored by them. I just suggest the Red Heart because it's inexpensive. You can find it at Walmart. A lot of Walmarts carry Red Heart in their cross section, which is, I always find, in the back of Walmart, which I don't agree with. This label right here, this is going to be the label for the Superfine yarn. The gray one that I showed you, this one. And you'll see here there are a bunch of symbols, some letters, and it's kind of cool because the reason you want to know about yarn is so that when you go to the store you know exactly what you need to make something. But a lot of labels already, this is like a standard label, there's nothing special about it. A lot of labels already do a lot of the work for you, so let's look into it. So first we have a number, and underneath it says superfine. So the number, as you know, is the weight. So this one is 1, and it's superfine yarn, just like we talked about. And then right next to it, there are 2 symbols. So there's one with like knitting needles, it's like a square, and there's a hook. So you can guess that the knitting needles are for knitting needles, so the suggested size that you should use. And the crochet hook, once again, you can use your great guessing skills and figure out that's the suggested crochet hook size. So that all makes a lot of sense. And then next to it, this one has about 4 other symbols. So these symbols are the care instructions. So the care instructions are basically how you should wash it, how you should clean it, if you should iron it or not. And if you don't know what the symbols mean, it actually says it right here. So it says machine wash, warm, gentle, wash with light colors, non-chlorine, bleach when needed, tumble dry low, and do not iron. So do not iron. Pretty sure most yarns you're not supposed to iron. Now, that is a standard label. That's what you should look for on the label. If you are going to just try and make something on your own, then you should, I would suggest using the hook and knitting needle suggestions, because that makes sense, right? And it's usually like the average size hook or needle, hook or needle that you would use anyway. So it's just a suggestion, and it's supposed to help you, so that's awesome. So the last thing that I want to talk about is the die lot. So the die lot you will see on the label as well. So it usually will, that'll be just like the color. But you want to make note of this, because if you say you're like making something and then you run out of yarn and you need to go back to the store, you need to know the die lot number of the yarn to make sure that it's the exact same, because sometimes when they're dyed, especially if you are interested in dyeing, they'll usually never be the same if they're in different lots. So that's something to look out for as well, because it might make your project look a little weird if it's like a different tone of purple, you know? So, ooh, hair in the mouth. So that's all I really wanted to touch base on for yarn. If you think I missed something, please let me know in the comments below, and I can always make another video, like a part 2, or I could make this like a series. I don't really know. But if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe to my channel. We're getting closer to 100, which means we're getting closer to the giveaway. I decided to do a giveaway for you guys once I hit 100 subscribers, because that was like my goal when I started this channel. I was like, I bet I don't even think I'll get 100. And every day I keep getting subscribers and subscribers, and it could happen. Like, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen soon. So it's just a thank you to you guys. Let me know what you want to see in the giveaway, because I have some ideas of like putting some of my favorite things in there, but I want this to be about you guys, not just me. So if you have any suggestions or ideas, please put them in the comments below. Make sure you follow me on my social media if you don't already, and I will see you guys next week. Hey guys, you can really understand how what yarn is. No. Do it again. The store. Yarn.